Fall.
What happened to your dad's hair? He got a permanent.
Fox presents a comedy you'll never forget.
So that's permanent?
About the decade
Eric, I need to talk to you.
half of us can't remember.
I can take the Toyota to work, and your mom can take the bus.
Do I get the car?
From the producers of Third Rock from the Sun.
How you like Bob's new hair? Isn't it groovy?
It's incredibly groovy, Mrs. Pinciotti.
That 70s show premiering Sunday, August 23rd on Fox.
Wow, this is as good as it gets. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this.
Turn Back the Clock night continues with the premiere of That 70s Show next.
Sitcom, are ye faithful? A Christmas podcast special where again I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Balky, Gilligan, and Young Webster, Rose Nyland, Eric Foreman, and definitely Mork. We'll definitely talk about Mork.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas because I'm outside and it's snowing. Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sitcom, All Ye Faithful. Today I watched a show from the 90s. It is the most recent, newest episode of a show that I've watched this year so far from 1998. I watched The Best Christmas Ever. Originally aired date December 13th, 1998, the 12th episode of the first season of That 70s Show. That 70s Show is a show that it's not a show that reminds me of being a kid, because I wasn't a kid of the 70s. I was more a kid. I was born in the 70s, but I was a kid of the 80s. And a kid of the 90s. You know, I grammar school 80s, 90s was high school and college. But it reminds me of being in college and being a young adult, because I watched this show, and I think I watched it a lot with my wife, whether we were I remember watching episodes at her house growing up. I remember watching episodes at our house when we got married. I am not sure if we watched episodes. Yeah, we had to have watched episodes when we, in college. I'm wondering, December 98, was I already home? I might have been home out of college by then, doing my, what do they do, when you go in internship, and then I just kind of was looking for jobs for months before I didn't walk graduation until 99, and then I started my job, which I'm still doing, the same job, 23 years later. I don't know, I went off on a tangent, but anyway, this time of my life, that '70s show was really a time when I was blossoming into an adult, a mature, responsible adult. Not an adult, but an adult, which is more than an adult. Like you say adult, you're like, oh, but if you say adult, you're like, oh, you really mean like responsible and mature. Also, only kids say mature. Adults say mature, but adults say mature. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about? So that '70s show, when I watched this episode today, I forgot how much I really like this show and how much fun it is. Yes, it's a laugh track show, but it wasn't for a long time where most comedies didn't do laugh tracks anymore. So it's still part of that era, but the characters are so great, the actors are so great, the kids, like, they knocked it out of the park as far as casting all the kids. I mean, sure, they might have got a Scientology rapey guy, but they didn't know that at the time. And I like that they kind of became like a family. They became friends. They were friends for years. Like Ashton Kutcher, he did his Demi Moore era, but then him and Mila Kunis reconnected and are married now. He was really good friends with Danny Masterson, and to the point where they did another show together on Netflix. It was a pretty much a hit show. It's kind of a generic sitcom. I actually watched that show for many a season. I don't know why. I just like, I'm going to check it out. It seemed to be popular, and it was okay. But once that Danny Masterson sumbitch got in trouble, all of a sudden his character just got written off the show. They found his dirt bike on the side of the road. He's dead. The end. Bring in Dax Shepard, and now he's a cousin or something like that. Anyway, that has nothing to do with that '70s show. That '70s show, to me, I said this was a great show. I was telling people, no, you got to watch the show. And it really was for Topher Grace, for Eric Foreman, and for his dad, the great Kurtwood Smith, who I remember seeing from RoboCop and from Dead Poets Society, and not liking him in either of those. But then you're in that '70s show, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's great, and he's still a great actor. I probably talked about the show many a times. A coworker, she told me about Patriot. If you haven't watched Patriot on Amazon, it is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen, and he's a great part in it. And to the fact where they turned this, they made a podcast that's just put out an episode, like I think last year, where he stays in character and kind of talks about very technical terms about the job he did in the show. But it's just something about the way it was written. It is pretty brilliant, and anything Kurtwood Smith does, including that '90s show where he's going to be back with Kitty, and all, it's a testament to the show that all the cast are going to show up, at least for an episode here or there, except for, of course, Danny Masterson. And sadly, they did replace Laurie in the last season, but that first actress who played Laurie, who was in this episode and was great in this episode and was great in a lot of these the early seasons, especially her and Kelso together. She sadly is no longer with us. They had Tanya Roberts. She played Donna's mom. She is sadly no longer with us. But I remember on the show, she left the family. She left the show, so she left the family. But this is an early on, episode of the season. It's only the first season, the 12th episode, and it is a Christmas party. The Foremans throw a Christmas party every year, but this year, Eric wants to throw a Christmas party for his friends down in the basement, and surprisingly, his dad says, yeah, okay, fine, you can do it, but here's the deal. You need to go buy the Christmas tree. Here's $40. You get a really nice Christmas tree, and whatever you keep, you can use for your party, okay? He's like, you got to haggle him. I don't want to haggle. Well, haggling's a part of life, son, so you got to do it. Can I have 50? Don't. He's like, get the hell out of here. So he gives him $40, go buy a tree, and then what does he do? He goes on the side of the road with Kelso and Hyde, and they chop down a tree off the side of the road to keep all $40 to get beer. Now, while that's going on, there's this little things of like Hyde wanting to get something nice for Donna because he does like Donna, and I don't remember if they ever dated. I know he dated Jackie for a while, and I know Foreman and Donna really were the long running couple of the show, but he definitely wanted to get her something because he definitely likes her. At the same time, obviously Eric likes her. In fact, I don't know if they're dating officially, but they're kissing in this episode under some mistletoe. So they're getting ready for the party. They have the tree. The tree's perfect. And I forgot Marion Ross is in this show. The great Marion Cunningham, Mrs. C. She's in the show as the grandmother, and she's a real bitch in this, and it's pretty funny the way her and Kitty interact. And nothing Kitty does is right, but they're decorating the tree together with Laurie, the sister. And at one point, Laurie's like, here, bring all this booze, put it outside, put it in the fridge. We have to get ready. She takes one of the bottles of rum and pours it into the punch bowl for all the girls. No, wait a minute. She pours it into the punch bowl that is innocently going downstairs for the kids' party. What's funny is the guys get all this beer, and none of them want to touch the punch, because why do we want punch when we have beer? Fez is there. He's got these three girls that are friends with Jackie, who they were out giving money to the unfortunate. And she's like, Donna says, don't you mean less fortunate? She's like, I don't know, unfortunate, the bums, for the bums. Because you forget, like, Jackie was really funny in the show too. People want to like make fun of Ashton Kutcher maybe as not being a good actor or anything like that. He, as Michael Kelso, is hilarious. He's great in this episode. He does this one physical stunt where he jumps over the sofa, smacks into the table, almost knocks over the punch, and stands there perfectly. And they don't cut, and you see Laurie almost start laughing, but he keeps, because he always wanted to hook up with Foreman's sister, even though Jackie's in love with him. One of my favorite things ever is when Donna walks in on one season with him and Laurie kissing, and she's like, "Oh," he's like, "Donna, wait, don't go anywhere." Like, he wanted to bring her in to do like a threesome with the three of them. I've always like enjoyed his performance on the show, and I liked seeing that him and Mila Kunis, like they said, it's like going back to seeing old friends, like seeing family, to go back for that 90s show on Netflix. Can that 90s show be like that really good? I can't imagine it is, but at the same time, will I watch it? Yes, of course I will. So while that's going, Hyde is worried about, what can I get for Donna? I want to get, not for Donna, for a girl that happens to be like Donna's age. Jackie knows it's for Donna. He only has $6. His mom recommends getting perfume, but he's like, that's $12. I don't have $12. He ends up getting a framed picture of the two of them that she thinks is so sweet. But Eric actually gets the same perfume that she really likes, which she thinks is so sweet. And they're just jealous of each other, but it's really funny. So the girls don't want beer. The girls that are friends with Jackie, Fez is trying to get close with them and talk to them. They don't want anything to do with him, but they're like, "Do you want some beer? How about some punch?" "No, you want some beer." "No, we want some punch." "Fine, have some punch." They drink the spiked punch, and they get loaded, and they're all over him towards the end of the show. Jackie's drunk, they're drunk, and then while that's going on, Red had to work on Christmas Eve. He works at next door neighbor Bob, who happens to be Donna's dad, works at Bob's discount store, and I don't know if he worked there full time or if he helped out there, but he works there, and he has to work on Christmas Eve. They're the only store open, figuring some idiot will show up that forgot a gift and will use it, will want to buy a fridge. Well, who shows up except Kelso? He's the idiot who forgot to buy a gift for Jackie. He didn't realize they were doing gifts, so he runs out to get Jackie a gift. He has $17 left, and what does he use it for? He ends up using it to buy hot rollers. Well, he asked about the fridge, which was funny, and then he and Red were playing Pong for a little while because he was hanging out with Red because no one else showed up at the store, and then he ends up leaving, coming back and buying hot rollers for Jackie that she loved. So at a certain point during the party upstairs with the grown-ups, the police show up because they think that station wagon was seen stealing a tree off the side of the road, stealing state property. So they needed to confiscate the tree, which was perfect. Which looked perfect. And Kitty's like, "No, you're not taking my tree. No." Red goes downstairs and says, "Eric, why is there a cop taking our Christmas tree away, saying it was stolen?" He's like, he goes, "Just tell me we stole the tree off the side of the road, and we used the money instead to buy beer." So he says, girls. He steals the girls, and Jackie, you're coming home with me. Donna, your parents are upstairs. I suggest you go there. Kelso, go home. Hyde and Eric, you guys clean up the mess. And give me back my money. Give me back the change whatever you have left. And Kelso's like, because he used the change that they had from the $40 on the hot rollers at the store with the $17 for Jackie. So that actually was Red that bought that for Jackie. And then Red told Bob upstairs, he's like, I'm sorry, the store was open. The only thing we sold were hot rollers and a Pong game. Apparently he had to buy the Pong game because he opened it up and played with it with Kelso. So it ended with Hyde and Foreman, who they were really the two best friends to each other. Like Kelso was the third and Fez was the fourth. That's how I always saw it. Like Hyde and Foreman were the two close friends. So they just each got a gift from Jackie, and it ended with Eric getting a ID bracelet and Hyde getting socks, and Eric was really happy that his gift was a little more personal than Hyde's socks. And I think that's it. I mean, that's that 70s show, best Christmas ever. I laughed a lot. What I didn't say, I don't know if I said, did I say Laurie took one of the rum bottles and spiked the punch? I think I did say that. So she's the reason. She's like, you guys need to have this punch. Drink this punch. She wanted them all to get loaded. And there was a funny line where she goes, you stole this tree. He goes, you flunked out of college. How did you know? He goes, I didn't. But then they realized, if you don't tell on me, I won't tell on you. And there's certain points where they're slapping at each other. I remember when they got the new Laurie, it wasn't the same. Like the two of them together were perfect, the way they just kind of fought and bickered and were really mean to each other. It was just a really good show that I think even though it spawned off a lot of careers, I feel like it's still kind of underrated. I don't know. Maybe it's me. But I'm really glad that I watched it. I'm really glad that I included it this year. And I know there's other Christmas episodes out there. So that 70s show could be, if a repeater. In future years of Sitcom, all ye faithful, there is a probably pretty solid chance you'll see that 70s show again. I think it's worth it. But that's it. I think I'm done now. Yeah, I think I am officially done now. And I have to tell you, I came back outside here and I don't have any gloves on. I took my dog out with gloves on. Now I don't have gloves on. That was a terrible, terrible idea. My hands are friggin' freezing. I'm going from hand to hand, and I don't even know if it's still snowing out right now. And I don't even know what that noise is. Like, usually I'm out here, it's the air conditioner. Well, it's December. There's no air conditioner. It's freezing. My hands are freezing. I can't tell. Is it the heater? Or maybe it's the heater. Yeah, it must be the heater. I don't know. Oh, okay, I'm over by the light now, and yeah, it is still snowing. So listen, I'm going to warm up, then I'm going to go babysit my nephew. He didn't want to watch that 70s show. He wants to watch football, which is fine by me. So we're going to hang out and do that for a few hours. And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Geek Mentality. The website is fansnotexperts.com. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. It is December 11th. We're 11 days in. My goodness gracious, we're almost at the halfway point. And there's been no repeats yet, and there's been no guests. It's been only me, but that's going to change soon. So I want to, there's a little tease for you there. So just one final thing to say is thanks once again for listening. Hope you had a great Sunday. Hope you had a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, here is, oh my God, it's so cold, my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.